Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We welcome you. That's the way to respond. We welcome you to the Shabbat morning services here at Temple Emmanuel, in which time we shall celebrate the Bar Mitzvah of Matthew Tonti, the son of Roberta and Mario Tonti. Our service opens on the bottom of page 742. And there are the words, Ki Yeshmara Shabbat El Yishmareni. If I keep the Sabbath, God shall keep me. It is part of that covenant. Oti la'almei ad, beino uveni. It is a sign forever between him and me.
Ki eshmera Shabbat yishmareni. Ki eshmera Shabbat yishmareni. Oti le'olamei beino uveni. Oti le'olamei beino uveni. Ki eshmera Shabbat yishmareni. Ki eshmera Shabbat yishmareni.
Page 704. For those of you who have not used this Gates of Prayer before, the bolder print is for the leader, the italicized is for the congregation to respond both loudly and enthusiastically. The sense of being chosen impressed itself deeply on the soul of our people. And yet they did not consider themselves superior to other nations, for they knew that all humans are God's children. It was not their lineage, but the possession of Torah that made them a choice people. For centuries, they stood alone in upholding divine truth and the way of Torah in a world steeped in ignorance, superstition, and cruelty. Yet they always believed that others too might be chosen if only they would choose the way of God. Only one privilege did they claim, that of serving God and His truth. And with that privilege came an exacting responsibility. You of all the families of the earth have known me best. Therefore, I will hold you all the more accountable for your iniquities. Israel gave birth in time to other religions that have brought many to God. But our responsibility continues, for our mission remains unfulfilled. It will continue until the earth is full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the seabed is covered by water. Page 320, as we rise for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMorach. Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated. I call now our Bar Mitzvah, Zenya Chalnitsky. If you think I made a mistake, if you will take out the blue sheets that were passed out to you. And you will notice that Matthew has chosen to be twin with Zenya. Zenya is a young man who lives in Russia and doesn't have the privileges that we have. That is to wake up in the morning and announce to his friends that I'm going to temple, or that I'm going to temple and have my Bar Mitzvah. This has been the story of the Russians in the past, and will probably continue to the future, even though we are experiencing a great resurgence of those who are able to emigrate. And yet it's a very capricious, in the sense that some people are allowed to go and others are not. Here a family that would like to go. They wake up and they say to their employers, we want to make application, and they say, fine, make application, you're fired. And most of us couldn't tolerate that and may not have the strength to do it. And yet this family has endured that. They have been refused. Why? What they say are state secrets. Perhaps one of them was in the military or knew something from years ago. And you know, with this modern world, how quickly things change, that state secrets of 10 years ago mean nothing today. And yet this family has not been allowed out. Now, through our efforts, we can begin to see that Jews are being let out. There were more Jews let out of Russia last month than there were a couple of years ago during the entire year. All of this is because the effort of the Jewish community. This effort must not stop just because the doors have been opened to a few. It's going to be our responsibility to keep those doors open. And then unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, it's then going to be our responsibility then to help them to resettle and give these Jews the opportunity to pick up their lives, to be Jews in the very fashion that we have been blessed with, only because most of us, our grandparents, were able to get out a long time ago. It could have been us who were there. And so in Xenia's place, I call upon our Bar Mitzvah, Matthew Tanti. Okay.
I can't tell you how many times I've written this speech in my head, and now I don't know what to say. You've worked so hard to get to this point, and you really have worked hard. You've worked us hard, you've worked you hard. And I think about our whole life together. From the time you were born, you took your time, and you just looked around and wanted to see what was there, and you still do the same thing with those great big brown eyes that took over your whole face. And you went slow, and you made sure you didn't do anything you weren't ready or willing able to do. And that serves you very well, and it makes me feel very sure that the things that you choose to do over the course of your life, as you've done so far, will only serve you well. The things that I love about you the most, and there are lots of them, are your sense of humor, your warmth and sensitivity, even when you give me back what I've taught you, and it is not easy to hear. And how clear you are about what you want and who you are. But most of all, the warmth and the kindness of the person who you are. And I think that's what makes me the most proud. You have no problem yelling at us when you're angry, telling us that you love us, and coming to cuddle and never feeling too old. Sorry, I promised I wouldn't embarrass you. But that was one of my dearest wishes, and I got that. And truly, you've been our gift from God. That's what your name means, our gift from God, and you have been that for us. And we can only hope and feel fairly sure that you'll continue to bring back the goodness to those you touch that we've felt from you. Now, give me. And this, along with your kippah, is a very special talit that Grandma Charlotte and Grandpa Albert got for you 5 years ago on their trip to Israel. And one of the wonderful things about this, not that just that it came from Israel, that it's also from you, Grandma and Grandpa, but that as the universe works, they bought it in the old city of Jerusalem, and it was made by a woman who grew up 2 blocks from where we live. And so it's come home. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kadeshanu b'mitzvotov, lahitatef batzitzit.
Please rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai
please be seated and join me in the Via Hafta. Via Hafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. V'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha chayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha b'derech u'shoftecha uv'kumecha. Ukshatam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. L'ma'an tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzotai v'hitem kedoshim levachechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiyot lechem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee on this day shall be upon thy heart, shall be upon thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto thy God, unto thy God, unto thy God.
Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourself to your God. I, the Lord, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, a world waiting still to be redeemed, give us, Lord, the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare his glory. May earth reveal his justice and his love.
From Egypt, the house of bondage, we were delivered. At Sinai, amid peals of thunder, we bound ourselves to his purpose. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, we survived oppression and exile, time and again, overcoming the forces that would have destroyed us.
Our failings are many, our faults are great, yet it has been our glory to bear witness to our God and to keep alive in dark ages the vision of a world redeemed.
May this vision never fade. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we sing with one accord, as Israel sang at the shores of the sea. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nura tehilot oseh feleh. Who is like you, Eternal One, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, doing wonders?
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nara tehilot oseh feleh. שמך, על שפת הים יחד כולם, הודו המליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
So Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufte kinumecha Yehuda Yisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzavot Shemo Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch Atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. O Rock of Israel, come to Israel's help. Fulfill your promise of redemption for Judah and Israel. Our Redeemer is the Lord of hosts, the Holy One of Israel. Blessed is the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel. Prayer invites God to let His presence suffuse our spirits, to let His will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, or mend a broken bridge, or rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Please rise for the tefillah. Adonai sefatai tifta, ufi yagid, tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot, u'Mevi Geula Livnei B'nechem, L'ma'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham. Your might, O God, is everlasting.
Help us to use our strength for good and not for evil.
You are the source of life and blessing.
Help us to choose life for ourselves and our children.
You are the support of the fallen.
Help us to lift up the fallen.
You are the author of freedom.
Help us to set free the captive.
You are our hope in death as in life.
Help us to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
Your might, O God, is everlasting.
אתה גיבור למרניים, חיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופף עולים, ומתיר אסורים. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
We sanctify your name on earth, even as all things, to the end of time and space. Proclaim your holiness. And in the words of the prophets we say, Kadosh,
Kadosh, Kadosh, Adonai Tzevaot, Melech al haaretz kavodo. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts.
The fullness of the whole earth is his glory.
Nekadesh et shimecha b'olam, et shimecha b'olam. Keshem shemakdishim ata, keshem shemakdishim ata, b'shamem arom, v'katuv ayat nevi'echa. V'kara zeh ve'amar, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot, Melech haaretz, Melech haaretz, Kevodo.
Source of our strength, sovereign Lord, how majestic is your presence in all the earth.
Baruch Kavod Adonai Mimkomo. Blessed is the glory of God.
in heaven and earth.
Adir Adirenu, Adonai Adonenu, Adir Shimcha b'chaaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo.
He alone is our God and our Creator. He is our ruler and our helper. And in his mercy, he reveals himself in the sight of all the living. Ani Adonai Elohechem. I am Adonai, your God.
Yimloch Adonai Leolam. Elohai Tzion
Lador Vador. Hallelujah. The Lord shall reign forever, your God, O Zion,
from
from generation to generation. Hallelujah.
Yimloch Adonai l'olam, Elohai Tzion l'tovadai. Yimloch Adonai l'olam, Elohai Tzion l'tovadai. Hallelujah.
Lador Vador, Nagid Yidlecha, Ol Netzach Netzachim, Kedushach Taha Nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu, Mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is the Lord, the holy God. Please be seated.
You gotta sing.
Stop for a minute there. It really is important that you sing. Because if you don't, the rabbi will. From the
And
beginning.
that's not funny.
ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כבוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כבוד לך. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. כי אל מלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, וקדוש אתה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כבוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כבוד לך.
You are with us in our prayer, in our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and to do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble and pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let your worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Retzei Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam ba'ahava tekabel. O Lord our God, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion, restored in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Page 330. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chaim V'Chesed V'Rachamim Aleinu V'Yat Kol Yisrael, V'Yat Kol Ha'amim. Grant peace and happiness, blessing and mercy to all Israel and all the world. Bless us, O God, with the light of your presence, for by that light we find light, justice, and peace. May your children unite to do your will, to establish peace and justice throughout the world, so that the nations are drawn together by the bond of friendship, and your love of truth holds sway over our lives. Blessed is the Lord, the source of peace. We join with the cantor again in singing. This time the words are very simple. They go sim, sim, sim. That's the same word in case you couldn't figure it out. Shalom, tova uvracha.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uvracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uvracha. Kein v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol yerei shemecha v'arkeinu avinu kulanu ke'echad ve'or panecha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uvracha. Ki ve'or panecha natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, Torat chayim ve'ahavat chesed, u'tzedaka uvracha ve'rachamim, ve'chayim ve'shalom. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uvracha. Meta b'yanecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, ve'et kohamim, ve'ravos v'shalom.
two types of prayer in this world. And one is the written, the words that you've been using of somebody else. And the other is the unwritten, your own words. Words found deep within you, which are just as creative as anyone else's. They are words of thanksgiving for the type of life that we have, the world in which we live, the automobiles and the homes and the food and the clothing that we all have and share, the freedom that is ours that is not to any other nation. And so it is we turn inward and we thank God for all that He has given us and allowed us to have in this world, for we are very fortunate people.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, be acceptable in thy sight. Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Lord, my rock and redeemer. Amen.
We come now to Seder Kriyat Torah, the order of the Torah service, at which time we shall call our Bar Mitzvah, Matthew Tanti, to read from the Torah. We open this section on the bottom of page 751. And there it tells us, according to the rabbis, Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omeid, upon three things does this world rest. And they are Al HaTorah, upon laws that we must obey. V'al Ha'avodah, upon spirituality, the fact of God's presence in our life as we communicate with one another. V'al Gemilut Chasadim, upon deeds of loving kindness. We rise and join in the singing of this as I call Chuck Dangler to open the Torah. The art.
Ashlosha devarim, ashlosha devarim, ashlosha devarim, halam, halam, amen. Ashlosha devarim, ashlosha devarim, ashlosha devarim, halam, halam, amen. HaTorah ve'avodah ve'agemilut chasadim. HaTorah ve'avodah ve'agemilut chasadim. Ashlosha devarim, ashlosha devarim, ashlosha devarim, halam, halam, amen.
Abu Godel Elohim, Utanu Kavod the Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and render honor unto His Torah.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, L'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato.
Beit Yaakov Lahu B'nei Acha Ba'or Adonai. O house of Jacob, come, let us run after the ways of our Lord, as we recall the opening verses from the Pirkei Avot, the sayings of our founders, in which it is written, Moshe Kibel Torah Misinai, U'Misorah Yehoshua. Moses received the Torah upon Mount Sinai and passed it down to Joshua, and Joshua to the elders, and the elders to the people of the great assembly. That is how it has been transmitted to us over the generations. And each people has read it and studied it, understood that it was laws, not just our relationship to God, but our relationship to our fellow human being. And then they studied it, and then they cared for it.
They would run into burning synagogues in order to save the Torah. They would carry it with them in their few possessions as they were forced to leave one nation and go to another. But they were wedded to it. Wedded to it because it taught us how to live life to its fullest. And then they passed it on to their children and their children's children. Just as we within this family pass it from a grandfather to a grandmother, one grandmother to another, from a mother to her son, a husband to his wife, and a wife and mother to her son.
I accept this Torah as if I were standing here, this day at the foot of Mount Sinai. In this sanctuary, in the presence of God, and for these family and friends assembled here, I affirm now as the Jews did then, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will obey. I now ask you to join me in the affirmation by which all Jews live.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God.
The Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneram Shemo Yachadav.
On page 746 is the prayer. It says, Baha Erinenu B'Torah Techa, O Lord, lighten up our eyes in the ways of your Torah and cause our hearts to cleave unto your mitzvot. We join in the singing of this for our procession.
V'ha'erinenu b'toratecha v'dabek b'beinu b'mitzvotecha v'yached levaveinu li'ahava u'yira et shemecha v'ha'erinenu b'toratecha v'dabek b'beinu b'mitzvotecha v'yached levaveinu li'ahava u'yira et shemecha v'lo nevosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashem le'olam va'ed v'ha'erinenu b'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha